The Sacred Mass, Chapter 41, The Long Road to Recovery. Astorga handed Alec a cookie, and Alec took the cookie and he munched on it, and he took a goodbye from it. And while he ate, he digested everything that all of the recent developments in his life. The cookie helped relax the tension in his senses, and the icy chill from inside Alec's heart finally departed. Astorga started munching on cookies like a madman, and then eventually she said, "Oh, boo, all the cookies are gone," said Astorga sadly. "I'll leave it to you to figure out how to tell Gregory the truth about his mother, and bring some snacks, and bad news are always tolerable with sweets." When Allan returned to Wallen, he carried Liam's instructional manual as penned by the hand of the doctor, Citrin. And Allan and Gregory were pacing all over the waiting room, and Helmer was cradling little Lishi, and Peter was sitting down with his hands folded, and the only sign of his nervousness was illustrated by the impatient tapping of his left foot. The kids were with Miss Lady and Sophina, and Caron was still trying to get some sleep, and he had not slept the previous night because of his play session with Allan and Gregory. Eric entered the waiting room to see if he could make himself useful, and Alec handed Eric the notebook belonging to Citrin, and he whispered to Eric everything that he had found out. Eric came to speak with Gregory, and he said, "Gregory dear, we need to have some serious grown-up talk. There are some things that I need to tell you about your mother that you're not going to like." Inannes and Pandora also followed after Gregory, and both needed to learn the truth about Citrin. Citrin was a statesman, and she saw the world and she hated everything about it. She wanted to change it, and she did not care whom she had to use to create her ideal world. And Gregory was just another pawn in her chessboard, and even in her death she sought to control him to achieve her goal. And Pandora spilled out the rest of the notebooks, and when put together with Liam's instructional manual, the truth became clear. Citrin was grooming both children as her successors, and she tried to inculcate into them her thoughts, her ideals. And whenever dragons tried to rule over mere mortals, the mortals tended to rebel out of fear, but they always yielded to people they perceived as beautiful. And Liam was a successful ruler because he had no opposition, and whenever he spoke, his followers were enthralled by his perfect beauty. But his wings were ugly, and they had to go. "Liam is awake," said Sunshine. And Gregory was the first person to enter the bedroom, and even to the bandages, the shape of the wings were noticeable, and the wings that were regrowing resembled twin tree branches without any leaves. And Liam smiled shyly when he saw his little brother Gregory. "Hello, little brother," said Liam, smiling. "I feel a lot better now." Gregory kneeled down beside his brother's bed, and he rested his head against Liam's shoulder to continue crying. And Liam sighed, and his breath came out normal, and he said, There, little Gregory. I told you I'm fine. Oh, hello, Peter." "Liam, he said, Peter sitting down near the bed. "I am glad to see you are doing well, Peter. I am no longer king, so I will have more time for you and my little brothers. You told me in your last letter that you were not getting along with Gregory," said Liam, looking particularly grieved. It's fine. We patched things up," lied Peter. "Liar," barked Caron. "Listen, Peter, what I give to you are suggestions. They are not laws or mandates. I do not know anything about raising children. I never had a father," said Liam sadly. Gregory started sobbing even louder after hearing this. Chuckling, Liam said, "What I meant is that my father did not take care of me. Since he was king, he always left it to others to look after me, and I will miss him terribly. Did you know, little Gregory, when I was small, I used to have a little pillow, and I would douse in her father's rose cologne, and I would take it everywhere I went, and my grandfather burned it. And when I'm better, can you take me to the beach? And I wanted to go this morning, but I got distracted by my other pillow. And he wears the same rose cologne as my father, and it must be why I felt so at ease with him." "I'm going to be changing my cologne immediately," said Helmer dryly. "But why? It suits you well," said Liam, giving a sad smile. Settle down, Liam, said Helmer, frowning. The fall came and the tourists started to thin out, and Sofina and Eric had sent Hope to live with Gregory, and there were problems from the outside world that required their particular attention. And once again, Eric wore the sacred mask, and Sofina became the vampire mayor Stormfina. Cause she's like, in her vampire form, she turns in, you know how like vampires turn to wolves and stuff? She turns into like a horse, a vampire horse. Yeah. I mean, people underestimate that a good kick to the face from a horse tends to lay most people flat, you know. They could be predators if they weren't like such cowardly horses. Alec and Missy too started to head out together on errands in no time. And though every night a weary Missy would appear to check up on her little leashy, and the day for Liam's release finally came, and feather-like scales had grown from the branch like wings, and the wings were still tender and small, but the bandages could now be removed, and the family members that were not busy took Liam to the beach. And Liam took Helmer's hand and he said, smiling, let's finally go swimming. I don't really know how to swim, said Helmer shyly. And Liam smiled benevolently. He said, I can teach you how to swim. Liam started with the basics, teaching Helmer how to float. And a fin or something passed by, and the little Arch Magus got frightened. And as the fin got closer, Helmer started screeching, and Liam laughed at the sound of this girly screech, and he lifted Helmer out of the water, and the fin started circling about Liam, and he put his hand in the water to pet the fin. Liam chuckled and he said, silly fish, that tickles. I think a shark is biting your brother, Liam, said Allan dryly. Do sharks bite hard? asked Gregory, worried. It's fine, said Lotte. Sharks bite me all the time and it doesn't bother me one bit. Good for you, said Allan, but that is soft and squishy. It is so nice to be able to relax like this, said Sunshine, sighing. And he was cradling little Lishi in his arms. And did you visit your mother's grave today? asked Pandora. Yes, said Sunshine. I had to make certain that she was truly dead, and in hell where she belongs. I think you are a little too paranoid, said Pandora, laughing sadly, and she was still coming to terms with the fact that her goddess Seedring wasn't as perfect as she thought she was. Well, you can never be too certain, said Sunshine, sighing, and my sweet demon of a mother would have done anything for world peace. Gregory, let's go swimming, said Caron happily. But they are sharks, protested Gregory. It seems like the shark only wants to be near Liam, so relax, said Caron. And what game do you want to play? asked Gregory as he was entering the ocean. Allan lately is busy with his new job, so it's just going to be me, said Caron sadly. It works fine by me, said Gregory. And let's play poker, and each time we lose a hand, we can take off an article of clothing. And the one who undresses first will have to take it where the light don't shine. I look forward to it, said Caron, smiling. Caron naturally won, and ever since hearing the truth about his mother, Gregory had stopped playing chess, and he had also shortened his hair and his back, and was back to sporting masculine outfits. Hi, Lotte, said Liam as Lotte emerged from the depths of the ocean. Hi, said Lotte, happily pulling Liam and Helmer into her embrace. And how are the swimming lessons going? They are not progressing. Every time a fish passes by, my pillow climbs up all over me, said Liam sadly. Can't we try swimming in a pool? asked Helmer. There is a cave over there that doesn't have any fishes. Try there, suggested Lotte. Guys, I'm going to move my lesson to a fish-free area. Lead the way, said Liam. Lotte shook off the water in the fashion of the dogs, and she guided Liam into a hidden cave. Because Lotte be a giant dragon. Well, was considered giant in that world, you know. Since the surf was low, one could easily enter it. And Lotte laughed at the entrance. Smiling, she said, I am going to be the rear guard, and you two have fun. Thank you, said Liam happily. Alright, bye-bye and God bless. And I